Sir Toby, Malvolio, Maria. Long ago, these four people lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when Maria attacked. Only Malvolio, master of all forms of etiquette, could stop this. But when we needed him the most, he was diagnosed insane and sent to a mental asylum, basically. Hundreds of years passed, and we groupmates discovered their story through the accounts of Fabian, and although his annotating skills are great, we still have a lot to learn from his writing about Maria's life before we are ready to release the truth. But we believe Maria's story can save the truth of the past.
Just how powerful can mortals be? What makes a genius? What makes a maid? What happens when one is both? Maria, once a maid, now a master of trade. Bars. During the Middle Ages, she owned the biggest linen shipping company in Illyria, influencing the fashion of today. But exactly how did she come to be?
In the 14th century, Maria started out as a maid under the service of Countess Olivia. Maria was known for her deceptive ability to forge handwriting, a relatively kept secret until she put it to use in a grand scheme against the steward of the household, Malvolio. As the autobiography from Fabian, also a member of the Olivia Manor, tells us, this was all started by Malvolio pushing her buttons through his arrogant and pompous demeanor. The anger that motivates Maria motivated her to grow a hatred for Malvolio, led her to deceive him with a note in disguise of a love letter from Olivia, making him seemingly insane to the Countess, but a complete fool to everyone in on the scheme. Punishment for insanity was no joke at the time. Malvolio was sentenced to a treatment procedure that involved interrogation while in solitary confinement. This inhumane procedure was considered practical as they believed that insanity was the work of the devil. To think a brilliant mind like Maria could think so intuitively in that environment was absolutely stunning. The scheme set by Maria was eventually unraveled upon Malvolio questioning Olivia of the creation of the letter, which led to much apologies from all but stubborn Malvolio.
Revenge on all of you!
Maria's early 30s were fairly normal for a woman at the time. She cooked, she cleaned, and was even proposed with Sir Toby, a knight also working under the Countess Olivia. However, Maria was far from normal, and all it took was the last straw, or Malvolio in this case, to release her potential. It was on Maria's 36th birthday when Malvolio saw his opportunity for revenge. 4 years after the event where he swore revenge, if not insanity, obsessive for sure, as put marvelously by Fabian, Malvolio came to realize how well Maria's forgery is, and pondered whether she ever put it to practical use in other cases. That's when he stumbled on some legal documents regarding funds from the Countess Olivia's household. All of them withdrawals Olivia would never make. The only alternative being Maria using her wicked talent. Seeing the opportunity, Malvolio ran to Olivia and told her. Olivia, of course, was bewildered. How could one of her closest affiliations do such a thing? After confrontation with Maria, Maria confessed to her crimes. She has been using the money to fund Sir Toby and his friends' alcoholism. The punishment for Maria? She was exiled for life from the household, a setback for anyone else but a step forward for Maria. Sir Toby fell to deep illness following Maria's leave. Scarce get-togethers from his fiancée, Maria, due to a temporary seeking shelter in the metropolitan area of Illyria, and less access to alcohol led to his depression and eventual, presumably, liver failure, as we do not have much account of his death. His days were numbered, but little did this matter, as Maria no longer sought Sir Toby as a lover. The death of Sir Toby was not due to some shallow grudge, but because Sir Toby's father owned a faction of crusaders known as the Crusties. Sir Toby was the leader of the group, although he did not orchestrate much activity among the group. The death of Sir Toby meant the coming of power to Maria.
Where have we seen conspiracies for power in history before? Oh yeah, everywhere. Oh, what differentiated Maria's actions from that of Cleopatra, though? Sir Toby was already on the brink of death due to his illness, but Maria couldn't wait, and rather used his illness as a means to cover up her dirty deeds. Suddenly, this sheds new light and shows us the truth.
Indeed, it wasn't Malvolio that was insane, but Maria. Every cloud has its silver lining, and truly it can be said that her insanity was the driving force for her genius. A small price to pay to change the foundations of trading ground at the time and influence centuries to come.
In her 40s, with her new power over the Crusties, she gathered laborers to work on linen productions. In Elizabethan times, crusaders were crucial as there was no central government, so they facilitated safe trading with foreign countries. Maria primarily traded with Egyptians as their linen production was top tier and was the only land that produced paper, a material she uniquely used in her clothing productions, as she no longer used forgery to her advantage, thus never finding necessity in paper otherwise. But what did she do that made her revolutionary? First of all, in her tactics, she recovered ancient scripts from the Byzantine, and from it she found the long-lost weapon, Greek fire. Pass the rock, fam!
Greek fire was able to burn on water, thus serving useful as she often sneakily set fire to heating traders' ships, completely catching them off guard as trading was not usually as violent. Through this, she slowly monopolized trade in Illyria.
Time for the moment you've been waiting for.
The product that revolutionized and shaped our world. The tie! Was an invention introduced by Maria because she wished to add formality to the business scene, as trade partners were often raggedy and did not take business seriously in terms of looks. This fashion choice is seen everywhere today, although not as popular back then, and to think what the world would be like without Maria.
She was supposed to buy your shorty Tyco with your money. She went to the doctor, got Lyco with your money. She walk around looking like Myco with your money.
Limited to that of a mortal, but her ideas are forever and always immortal. Just how powerful can mortals be? What makes the genius? You know what? You should just have this here. Just what the? In her 40s, with her new power over the Crusties, she could. What the? Reading. Purely immortal, and her ideas are limited to that of a mortal. But her idea. What did I just say?
In the 14th century, Maria started out as a maid under the service of the Countess Olivia. Was known. However, every cloud has its silver lining. However, every cloud has a silver lining, and truly it can be said that her insanity was the driving for her genius. A small price to pay
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
The product that revolutionized the shape our